Aarav lived in a quiet little town surrounded by green fields and mountains. He was a writer, but not a famous one. He wrote for himself. His notebooks were filled with thoughts, poems, and unsent letters. Aarav's life was simple: a job at a small bookshop, a rented room with one chair and a table, and endless evenings where he sat under a lamp and wrote. One day, Aarav wrote a long letter to his childhood friend. It was about his dreams, about how lonely he felt in the world, and how he wished he could meet someone who understood him. But by mistake, the letter was sent to the wrong address. That address belonged to Meera, a young woman living hundreds of kilometers away. Meera was a painter. Her life was colorful, but her heart was empty. When she opened that letter, she expected a boring message from a stranger. But as she read it, she felt something change inside her. "Dear stranger," she wrote back, "your words made me cry tonight. Not because they are sad, but because they sound like my own thoughts. Please, write again." And so began their story. Day after day, week after week, Aarav and Meera exchanged letters. Sometimes they wrote 2 in a single day, because there was so much to say. Their words became their safe place. They shared everything: their childhood secrets, their fears, their failures, their victories. Aarav once wrote, "I don't know your face, Meera, but I think I have started waiting for the postman every day, just to know how you are." Meera replied, "I painted a sunset today, and while I was mixing colors, I kept thinking, would Aarav like this shade of orange? How strange, to think about someone I have never met." In their letters, they laughed. They cried. They imagined a future where they might sit together and read all the letters out loud, just to see each other's expressions. They never exchanged phone numbers. They never sent photographs. They wanted to know each other through words. Only words. And slowly, they fell in love. One evening, Aarav wrote a letter that was different. "Meera, I don't want to spend the rest of my life wondering about your smile. I want to see it. Next month, I will come to your city. No surprises this time. Wait for me at the bus station." Meera's hands trembled when she read the letter. Her heart raced like it never had before. She wrote back, "Yes, Aarav, I will wait for you. For the first time, I will see the man who has been living in my heart without ever touching my hand." That month felt like a year. Both of them counted the days. Meera painted a special portrait, 2 hearts floating in the sky, connected by golden threads. She wanted to give it to Aarav when he arrived. The morning of their meeting arrived. Aarav left early, with their letters tied together in a small bag. But fate had another plan. On the way, Aarav's bus met with a terrible accident on a narrow road in the hills. He never made it to the station. That evening, Meera stood at the bus station for hours. Buses arrived one after another, and people stepped off. But the bus Aarav had boarded never arrived. She returned home confused, scared, and heartbroken. 2 days later, she received the news. 2 policemen arrived at Meera's house carrying a bag full of letters. One of them gently asked, "Are you Meera? We found your address in these letters." The boy who carried them was Aarav. We identified him through his identity card. There was a bus accident, and 14 people lost their lives, including Aarav. Meera fell on the floor, crying until her voice broke. For weeks, Meera stayed silent. She read every letter Aarav had ever sent. Sometimes she would whisper to the pages, "You left me here, but I still love you. I will love you until my last breath." One morning, Meera was found in her room, holding Aarav's last letter on her chest. She had quietly left the world in her sleep. Meera's family, heartbroken but inspired, decided to share Aarav and Meera's letters with the world. They published a book called Letters We Never Read Together. The book became a sensation. People from every corner of the country cried when they read it. Some found courage to express their own love. Some wrote letters for the first time in years. Some just held the book close to their hearts and whispered, "This is what love must truly feel like." Aarav and Meera never met, but their story touched millions. Their love became a reminder that sometimes, two souls are meant to meet. Not in person, not in this lifetime, but in a way that inspires the world and teaches what true connection really means. They say love ends when people are gone, but Aarav and Meera taught us that real love never ends. It just changes its form. It becomes words, it becomes art, it becomes a story, and sometimes, it becomes the reason someone believes in love again.